Welcome everyone to Simply Felicity Live. I'm extra excited about this show today because I'm really, as of today, wanting to start a new series where I begin to talk about this new era that we are in as of December 21st on Monday. I actually think I hyped myself so much about Monday that Tuesday I was kind of like, I had a problem. Like, I was like, I didn't see light beyond Monday. I don't know what, like,
Oh,
sometimes you just have to reset, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what I had to do on Tuesday. But there's life after December 21st. It's a very exciting day. And I just believe that there are a lot of new conversations that need to happen, a lot of new understandings that are going to unfold. And I feel like I want to use my platform to do that and to start having those conversations. So I invited a very sweet soul that I got to meet during an awesome coaching program that I was a part of, group coaching. And I, one of the things that I learned there was that I got from it was to stop hesitating. And so at the end, I kept thinking, don't these girls want to get together after this program? Isn't somebody going to ask? And it was like, you asked, Felicity. So I did, and we're in a group chat now, and I've just gotten to know her a little bit, but I'm going to get to know her more today. So I'm excited to introduce to you all Aminata from England. Yeah.
hi.
Are you
Hey, everyone.
actually in London or where are you?
Yes, I'm in London. I'm in West London. Yes,
West London.
but I've been in the UK for like 5 years. I
Five
was born
years.
in. Yes.
Yes, born in France.
So I have another accent. If anybody's wondering.
Yeah. If you're like, I can't place this girl at all.
Yeah.
Now she is fully just European. She's like a mosh,
Yeah.
kind of, in a way. So, the first thing I wanted to start off with is that I know that you've got a new business that you've been working on. It's very
Yes.
exciting. So tell me about that.
Well, it's the new website. So for now, we're gonna sell cosmetics. We're also selling candles, and we are working on because we have different suppliers and we have new ones almost every week now. Um, uh, so we're trying to add some clothes on the website maybe next month. Yeah, so
Oh, is it already
it's a lot.
launched?
Sorry.
Is it already launched?
The website, there's some parts of it that are the cosmetic part. Yes, you can go and see the cosmetic part on the
Tell
website.
us where. Where can we go to
It's called Charms Essentials.
see?
Um,
Excellent.
yeah, so maybe I can send you the link or
Please do, because I'll post it in
no
this.
problem.
Yeah, that would be great. Charms Essentials. Very cool. And what we did this 6-week class together. What would you say were takeaways for you from the class?
Um, well, for me, it was the forgiveness part.
Mm.
That was so helpful for me, and it was also the self-forgiveness part that was even better. And also, it's funny that you said that, but the not hesitating part, or to know how, like, when to listen to, when it's your higher self speaking and when it's your ego, to know how to discern both and to act when it's your higher self and stop being afraid of it, because that's what actually one of my big things. I was just literally afraid of it. So I would be like, yeah, I have a good idea, but I'm not gonna do it.
Right, right,
Yeah,
exactly. And we found out that is definitely your ego
yeah,
trying to keep you from doing it. So yeah, when you start putting that thing in place, it's like, oh wow, wait a minute, feeling kind of powerful here.
yeah.
So yeah, that was just so cool. So um, so when I talked to you about just talking about spiritual issues and the importance of it. I know you told me that you don't consider yourself a religious person. Actually, I don't know. I think there's very few people anymore that consider the word religious positive, honestly. I don't know that anybody
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that had that framed for them in a good way, but
Yeah.
to me, my definition of religion is honestly like, say, doing something religiously so that you're
Okay.
doing it kind of systematically, but kind
Yeah.
of without thinking
Mhm.
and not necessarily with the buy-in that you want to have. I mean, when it comes to spiritual issues, I think it's good to have disciplines, but when
Yeah.
you're religious about it, I think you become detached from it. But what is your like spiritual, what is your background and how do you define yourself now?
Well, I was born in a Muslim family.
Okay.
Um, I never really considered myself a Muslim, and I wasn't really a what you call a good Muslim.
Okay.
I always it always felt like there was something wrong. Not only about Islam, but like it just didn't. I don't. Okay, it just didn't fit with my soul,
Hmm.
basically. So that was really weird because I was literally like looking for something that I didn't know I was looking for, and it was really a really weird place when I think of it now. Um, and I got my spiritual awakening like a year ago.
Mm.
Um, I was in the UK. Um, it was I just had finished studying music. Um, I was trying to find myself, and literally everything came. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next, and then that happened, and I was like, whoa, like now I really don't know what the hell. Sorry, is it?
Really, really similar for me too. Uh really like awakened spiritually, or I would call it born again, but I've been born again now like 5 times or something because like there are things that are like, whoa, But I was out of college and I did a directing internship um in Washington DC, and I was going to this church or whatever, and um yeah, it was exactly the same thing. I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? And this was a great opportunity I had to work at a theater in DC. The Arena Stage Theater is kind of a big deal, but like I didn't really have any good prospects after that. And just it was the exact same thing, and then like had this experience. I felt like I was on an LSD trip after leaving the church that day, because like literally the sky was bluer, the grass was greener, and I'm like, do you see this, to the person I was with, and they're like, not
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, you can't open someone's third eye for them, right?
Yeah, you really can't. I tried to like, yeah, you
Yeah, yeah,
can't.
but I
Yeah,
had to share it. It was amazing. So yeah,
yeah.
I
I think
totally know.
it's
And then I was even more confused about what to do. I mean,
yeah,
I could borrow that exact story.
yeah. I think everyone at first the first instinct you have is to want to wake up everybody. So, and that's one of the hardest lessons as well because sometimes it's your family really close to you, and you're like, well, I'm gonna have to just move on, unfortunately, you know. So, and I think that's why some people choose to go back and just ignore it because they don't want to. They just feel like they don't want to leave their family behind, you know.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be such a sad choice.
yeah, really.
Yeah, because then you're putting a lot of pressure on people. Um, and to give you something that they're not going to be able to give you,
Yeah,
and you won't be able to reach the place where you were, with that paradigm. Whereas if you continue to move on, you have the potential of really helping them,
yeah.
if they decide that they want something more different for their life. I guess I never really
That's
thought
true.
about that people would turn away. I'm like
Yeah,
horrified, but I know it's true.
yeah, yeah,
As you
yeah.
say
I've
it,
seen
I'm
it, and I was like,
sure.
I've seen it and I was like, this is not why. Like, but I get it, especially like at the beginning because it's hard for everyone, you know. I feel like people that are not spiritual, they believe that it's all like, you know, namaste and meditation and yes, but that comes later. That's not the first part of it. Like I had a spiritual awakening and right after I had the dark night of the soul. So and I literally that was last December,
Mm.
so that was like not long before all that's happening just started, you know. So yeah, yeah. I
You're
was
like,
like,
am I still
whoa,
in it? I thought it was over.
yeah,
Like, are we all in it now? Like, I pulled everyone to my.
yeah.
Wow. So how did you like transition out of it? Because I had this similar, but mine was 12 years of a
Wow.
marriage. Yeah, yeah. And it was all dark night of the soul the entire time, I think. I'm a stubborn gal. I used to be super stubborn.
Good.
Not letting go. This is gonna work. Wow, that was rough. And not necessarily having a good spiritual guide or coach or something like that to kind of,
Yeah.
hey, are you happy? Like, do you think
Mhm.
that, you might could do? But then I had to go through choosing not to be distracted by another person's behavior even after the marriage ended. I could just
Mhm.
say it was all him, all his fault, and then I would have missed the real good stuff, which
Yeah.
was to see that I attracted that situation.
Yeah.
That's where everything happened. That's where it got really good, right? I mean,
Hmm.
of course, at first it's super offensive. But
Yes.
after you get over, like, I hate you for saying that, you become like, oh, wait, this could be good because if I caused it, what else can I cause?
Yeah.
Right? What else can
Yeah.
I step into? So this is super recent for you. So what has that transition been like for you? How would you define it?
Um. So at the end of my dark night of the soul, I um I that's actually when I called for the class
Really?
because I was like I literally just I didn't want to talk to anybody, so I had lost all my friends, and also it was in the middle of like uh well during the end of the beginning of Black Lives Matter was like the end of my spirit of my Dark Night of the Soul.
Yeah.
So I was good. Like I was just like, no, like I don't know how to get out of it. Like I literally went through it by myself. I don't know how I did it, but I did.
Uh,
That's why I tell people like, there's no way to go through with it. Like I was not the healthiest. Like I wouldn't. I would eat like chips all day. Like for like, you know what I mean. Um, I'm not saying
yeah.
you
And
need.
how else would you define it? Because I want to, like I told you, I kind of want to just help bring communities together. And I'm just so excited that I did this because um these journeys are really similar and
Yeah.
I want people to see it. So I'm just going to back up 1 second and then I want you to explain it a little bit more. So for my audience, I want to let you guys know a lot when I talk about the ego, when I mentioned ego, a great um a great definition would be the enemy that's the inner me, right?
Mhm.
And it's very powerful for the reason I just said, not to continuously externalize your enemy because then you that is you giving your power away,
Yeah.
right? And saying, you can't, and that's why, if you ever feel like there's nothing I can do, that's why.
Yeah.
because you literally think that your life's destiny is in the hand of other people. And it's like, it's not, it's
Yeah.
really not. And so when you internalize that, and then the coach we had explained that the ego is that part of you that really wants to kill you. Like, it's that part of you, and when people's ego is out of control, I mean, that can lead to suicide, right? But and it happens like different for each of us. But I mean, I definitely had times, and I don't know, can you go through a true dark night of the soul and not like really think about, maybe it'd be better if I weren't here? I wasn't really thinking it'd be better if I wasn't here, but I was thinking, if this is as good as it gets, I'm not sure I can keep this up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I was thinking. Is just like, I don't feel like I have the tools to continue if life doesn't get better. Like, if I
Yeah.
jack this up to the place that things aren't going to get better, like, I'm sorry, but I don't know what else to do now. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do this. So that's what it was for me. But that's the same impulse of not wanting to be here, you know if I
Yeah.
had stayed in that. So just kind of wanted to give that definition there, and just to see where and again, it's not that necessarily you don't have any enemies, but think of this. Even the Bible, it says to pray for your enemies,
Yeah.
which is so hard. It's hard for a lot of people to do. But what it does is it takes you on that continuum of love, which is where you want to stay. You know, so it takes this enemy from this thing that you want to trample on and stomp out and be so angry and all that stuff, and really just send love out to that. So it's it really can transform your relationship with life, your relationship with hardships, and which is very
Yeah.
powerful, because disappointment is what stops so many people. So how would you define a dark night of the soul, from having gone through it? Anyone you've talked to?
It's actually exactly like you said, because I had before um my spiritual awakening. I have had some thought of suicidal thoughts, but I didn't have any um during my dark night of the soul. I was just
Okay.
like, when is this gonna end, and is it even gonna end, and what the hell am I going through? Even like,
And was
what
it
is
like kind
this?
of external, everything going wrong, or was it just you just felt bad all the time? Or
Yeah, it was more like my emotions. And
okay.
also, I'm a Libra, so like the scale was all in balance and stuff, like completely not balanced at all, not peaceful. And um it was really like, yeah, my emotions. And then every day, like seeing more and more stuff, because literally like my dark night of the soul and my spiritual awakening overlapped.
Mm,
So I was still like like discovering stuff, like. And I think like the first thing that most people discover is what's happening with children, and what is really happening to them. So
right.
I was literally learning more and more about this stuff while having
She's
that.
talking
And
about the
then,
child trafficking, and just,
yes,
I
the
mean, where
trafficking.
where I think we all knew it was happening to some level, but like
Yeah.
not the extent.
No,
We
no,
we thought
yeah.
this was a few weirdos.
Yeah.
Literally. It went
Yeah,
from a
like
few weirdos to be
1% of
like,
the entire planet.
is this everyone I see on TV? Is this
Yeah.
every perform, like, what? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also the religious aspect. And I was also at the same time learning, you know, um, some, I want to say like some, our culture, Black people's culture, and how it has been hidden and falsified. And like, what do I know what's true and false? And like, I was like this, that was literally just looking for the truth and not liking it at the same time. But like I would just wanted to, I was just like, okay, where is gonna be the point where I'm gonna find the truth and I'm gonna like it? Like is it gonna be, you know what I mean? Like
Got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah.
that was what it was really, and controlling my emotions and impulses. I was really just sleeping during the day and up at night, basically for like a few months. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I literally have no idea how I did this.
You.
Yeah.
So how soon after your discovery call did the coaching start?
Oh, I think 3 weeks, maybe
Okay.
4.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so it was around the same time as my I felt like I did the call and then I was in the class with it. It might have been a little shorter for me. I might have gotten in on the tail on the
Yeah,
tail.
because when I called, she told me, Alicia told me that there was not enough people, so I would have had to wait for more people to call in for the class to actually begin.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I must have been one of those additional people and it all worked out as it should because I definitely
Yeah.
it was good that I met you. So yeah, so you talked to me about some of the lessons, but how are you feeling emotionally? Like, do you feel like you've really made a transition? Well, probably the forgiveness was a huge
Yeah.
thing coming out of that.
Oh yeah, like now completely different. Honest, I've never been that happy in my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's actually weird. Well, now I'm good and I'm comfortable, but I just wasn't used to feeling this good at the beginning. And I was like, is something about to happen? Like, like almost like, this is a bit too good to be true, but now like I've seen so many things happen in my life just by me feeling good with myself.
Wow.
Um, that I'm like, well, let's go, continue. Yeah, let's not
Exactly.
go back.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you were able to shake off that fear because that
Yeah.
certainly totally isn't something you want to like manifest. And
Mm,
but I think I do see that happen where just people can't they have a hard time getting over that, looking over their shoulder or um I wonder though if that doesn't fall off if you really do all the forgiveness work because that had to
yeah.
be messaging. That had to be
Hmm.
somebody telling you that, and you have to forgive them, right? Like you have
Yeah.
to be able to release that, and then also that really good part about writing down all your parents'
Oh, yes.
traits and
Yeah.
bad traits, and then deciding which ones you want. Like,
Yes.
I mean, and it just seems so simple, but I don't know, like objectifying it and
Hmm.
really making it like a project to do that.
Yeah.
Um, it just was really good. It's really comprehensive, I think,
Yeah.
program, and I
Yeah. And I
definitely
liked, sorry, I
yeah, go
liked
ahead.
also the ego article that she told us to write. That was really good, and it's always helpful to to go back to just for peace of mind sometimes, because nobody's perfect no matter how far in your spiritual you are. um Nobody's perfect, nobody's always good all the time. So yes. Yeah. And also, one thing that helped me, because that's kind of like why I say that spirituality is, people have different spiritualities. For example, for me, even though I went through the class, I'm aware of what the ego is, but I'm also aware that you can use it. It's not like, it's not something to completely destroy. For example, um, if you want to protect yourself from like imminent attack, for example, like right now, someone's you're not gonna be meditating the bullet away from you. Do you know what I mean? Or so um
Absolutely.
Yeah, so those are things like that because I hear a lot of people saying, kill it, kill it. Well, not completely.
Yeah,
It's just,
in fact, maybe that's why I don't know. I've never heard because this the coach, the overall program is from this lady Amelia Love. And so maybe that's why she talks about putting the ego to sleep. Maybe
yeah,
that's why, because there are times it needs to
wake it up. Yeah,
wake up. I mean, obviously, if you kill it, you know,
yeah,
then it's gone. And I actually that helped me buy into the her whole concepts more because it doesn't make sense to me that you kill it actually. I didn't know a lot about it, but I just when she heard say put it to sleep, that made a lot of sense to me immediately. And then
yeah.
just in my heart,
The,
sometimes you just know stuff.
yeah, the only reason I say that is because there's been some people who would say, for example, when you meet your person or whatever, that's when your ego dies completely. And I mean, obviously, when you're in a relationship, is true relationship with people who really have done their work. Obviously, it's gonna be harder for your ego to manifest, but it's not gonna die. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that
not
just doesn't
gonna
make
die,
sense to me.
and
I
it
guess
shouldn't.
the training that I got that would relate to that in from the Christian realm, my old pastor, he said something I just thought was really brilliant. He talked about the in the Bible they say the old man. That's what they call it, the old man. So what he said was is that like it's like the person you were before you were born again. So what he
Okay,
said was you need to treat that like a wild animal. Okay. And what happens is, how many, he's like, just think of it. You don't know that many people that keep wild animals as pets or, these celebrity pet
right.
trainers and stuff. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know that many. But out of the few we know, you can name like three that have died. So
Yeah.
here's the problem is you start treating that lion like kitty kitty pet. Listen, that never loses its wild nature. Now it might, if depending on how you raised it, it might die in the jungle. That don't mean it wouldn't kill you. It
Yeah.
never really loses that part of it. So you need to treat it like that. You need to
Yeah.
treat it like that, right? And so
Or
never
just
get
leave it
so
alone in its natural habitat. How about that?
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
But I think that thinking the ego can die is like getting too cozy,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, because then you're gonna fully relax on that thing
Yeah,
and think
that's when
that,
you see everything namaste, everything is fine. No, not everything is good because kids are getting sacrificed. And I feel like I want to say this because I don't know. I just really want to say
go
it.
for it.
um, a spiritual awakening. I feel like for a black person is, in my opinion, especially when you really deeply look into the culture. I'm not only talking about the obvious like slavery, I'm talking about before that, because a lot of people don't even think we have history before slavery. Like, I don't
Really,
know what people don't
really good
even
point.
consciously think of it. Um, and so it's even harder because you realize that, and I'm not generalizing, but there is a group of people who literally took everything like away from us, like culturally. And that's why there's a lot of us that don't even know what country, like the closest roots we are from, um, and that's I think that's important to acknowledge as well. um, yeah, so
Well,
I just wanted to say that.
I would agree with that because I actually had recently, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but I started working with a dental coach.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and I bet she's one of like two. I don't know. I've never heard of or seen it.
What is that? It sounds like a, what is
So
that?
what it is so I was told 4 or 5 years ago that I needed a root canal.
Okay.
And anyway, I saved up my little money, and it was a lot of money. And I went there to go get it, and they said, "Okay, cool, we'll start the process." And thank God they told me before I paid. They said, "We'll start the process, and then next week you have to go to your dentist to get the second part, which it costs this much." And I was like, "No, I didn't know anything about that." And that angered me so bad. So anyway, I just have a real thing with integrity. And
Yeah.
when it took me a lot to save that money anyway, and then now you're telling me I actually needed more the next
Yeah.
week, or it was going to kind of ruin what just happened. See, that bothers me on just a deeper level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was more than
Mhm.
just that. It was like, and now I don't trust you. And now I
Yeah.
don't trust, you know what I'm saying? So, anywho, so I just went about and not got it done. I have not been getting it done. Then I was starting to have pain more frequently. So I still had this trust issue, and I'm not even with the same dentist. I really have a
Mhm.
trust because I don't feel, no one was explaining it to me like full disclosure where I felt like, okay, I really know. So anyway, so after I started learning more about how your body affects things spiritually, and like if this might be a clue to that, then I Googled, what does tooth pain mean? And up pops this
Yeah.
holistic tooth fairy. That's what she calls herself. Okay.
Wow.
So in the work that we did together, what she was telling me is, so you know that all your cells in your body, everything regenerates, right? So
Yeah.
we're like a whole new person every, I don't remember, 50 days, or I don't really
Yeah.
remember the number.
Yeah.
Yeah, but something pretty cool, right?
Mhm.
Except your teeth. Your teeth do
Oh.
not do that. So our teeth actually hold old stories. They have the
Oh,
ability to
wow.
hold old stories and stuff. So, like we were in our first few sessions, I'm like going back and doing some sort of visualization type of forgivenesses on my great grandmother and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like it was so cool when we were thinking, like, what are my teeth trying to tell me, basically, type of
Wow.
thing. Oh, fabulous, fabulous. And then toward the end, we learned about food things and hygiene and, some practical. But oh, this stuff was really, really powerful for me. And so I think actually I have a better understanding of what you're saying now. So for me personally, and both of my parents are black, but I don't I don't know exactly I don't know the right words, but I don't even really know the words. I guess the best way to say, I don't feel I have a relationship with the Black community. Does not mean I don't
Okay.
have relationship with Black people, right? I do have
Really?
relationships with individual Black people, but
Mhm.
I don't have any feeling about a Black community, Black collective, like nothing. And now this is an improvement over what I used to, if I would have been honest, I would have said, I don't have a good relationship with the Black community because some of
Mhm.
the people who've been the meanest to me in life have been Black. So that, obviously shaped things. But
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly I do remember when I forgave it. I just don't remember how long that was ago. Maybe 3 years or something like that. Something happened. I started crying in it. Da, da, da. And
Mhm.
so I did. It was a book I read actually, and I got to speak to the author, and it happened again. I was crying some more and stuff like that. So, but that's just still not something I really have a feeling for, but at least I don't have a negative feeling. But
Yeah.
what the point, so that's why in the past, I would have just sat here and acknowledged what you were saying and just say, I don't really understand that or have a relationship. But
Yeah.
because of that dental work I did, I know that not all of the forgiveness work that we have to do is related to what we remember from life, our
Yeah.
this
Oh,
current
yeah,
consciousness.
definitely.
So, of course, there are going to be people in the Black community that have a whole lot of forgiveness to do,
Yeah.
especially perhaps if you were descendants of kings and royalty, then
Yeah.
you're going to remember and you're going to have all of that um, to process. I mean, it just depends on. I guess where you are in the line, what your consciousness remembers and everything. It's not just what you remember here. It's like what
Exactly.
you're
And
holding on to. So I
yeah,
that makes sense.
exactly. Because like, for example, yes, I can understand it's not all white people. I understand. Okay, certain things you're asking me to, for example, if you go to the museum, don't expect me to be happy there because I know this shit is mine.
Mm,
And if I go to the royal palace or whatever, I take one thing, we go to Africa, we put a museum, it's not gonna happen, you know? So
right.
it's certain things where it's like, I don't know, it's about like maybe taking responsibility as well,
Mm,
you know? We take responsibility, I take, as I'm aware, my community is not perfect, but some of it has been caused by another community. And that they have to also accept that yes, it's not, my neighbor. Obviously I'm not completely, like crazy like, but I know how to discern things. um but also, to me, there's something that I come across a lot is we, other races telling us to forgive them, but one thing is also you, how you're, and if we don't, then we're not healed. But you or they, some people in that community can't even accept what they're doing still now to us in Africa and all over the world, museums or whatever it is, even in developed countries, certain things that are placed in the ghetto, not by it's not a mistake, you know it's like, so you tell me I'm not healed because I'm not forgiving you, but you're healed even though you can't even acknowledge what you're doing or what the people in your community are doing. That's a bit hypocritical.
yeah, no, I'm really like understanding what you're saying. Like this is like such good timing after me having done that work where I really wouldn't have understood what you were saying before. But now, like honestly, it's from a spiritual place that I'm understanding. So this is what I want to say. Like, I believe this is just one example. There will be other communities, but for instance, you might be Irish and feel some of that from what happened to Irish people here in America. You know,
Mhm.
you may have that. So I think that, and then, okay, there are um uh Black people that were in different stations, that got different places quicker, that you know, that what I'm trying to say is we're able to process more healing. There are
Yes.
people that did it, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to take responsibility for our individual journeys. If we're
Yes.
feeling that way, then that means there's stuff that was not done in the past. And if we don't currently do it, we're not going to pass it on either, right? So
Hmm.
that's why I think that each of us telling our story is so important, you know,
Yes.
and that we're honest, that we're able to be honest about it. Because I can't take on pain that's not mine. And and I have to be honest within my spiritual journey, not to repress. So if something comes up later, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I'm gonna be honest because I ain't going back. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
No.
I don't care about
No.
offending anyone or da da da
Oh
da
no.
da. So, but at this stage in the game, like that pain, isn't mine, and I resonate with the pain that is mine that has to yet be dealt with. So we all need to do that. Like, I think it's about taking responsibility for our bloodline, past and present, future.
Hmm.
The whole gamut is when we're honest about it, then we're able to really, really heal. And that is what this timeline's about right now. Like, I
Yeah.
think, and I'm really interested in what you think this new era is bringing, I don't know, like, I am just so I listen to do you know Joaquin Flores? Did you see him?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
Sorry if you're watching.
No, no, no. He's really new on the scene because
Okay.
when, I don't know if you know General Michael Flynn in America here got,
Yes.
okay, so when he got exonerated, or whatever that exact word, when he got that, this guy Joaquin was in the footnotes of people of interest. So he has literally had to be
Okay.
quiet this whole time. He couldn't say nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, because everybody implicated in that, you know, could have gone one way or the other. So he had to lay low. So that is how recent this guy has been coming out. So, and Amelia interviewed him. So anyway, he did this video and about like Christmas, and just being excited that this was going to be best Christmas ever, like, but just relating it to the new era, and the great convergence and everything from Monday. So he was saying that, um, in this age, there will be more of a simplicity of understanding that there is good and evil, right and wrong, but not like all these different divisions and making it so overly complicated
Yeah.
about, the path. And this makes so much sense to me because um, a lot of people understand we're going into the age of Aquarius, but they don't think about where we're come from, which is the
Yeah.
Piscean age, right? Which is an age of rules and regulations and like things more in a box and everything. So
Hmm.
it's not that, and so if you look at it again, it's not that we have to label that stuff as wrong. It was right for that time, right? But all those boxes and those divisions and stuff are coming off, right?
Hmm.
And then Aquarius, is like simplicity. It's kind of known for freedom. It's about freedom from all of that stuff. And
Yeah.
that's where we're at right now. So that's what I'm so excited about. And so what do you see? What do you feel? What do you sense?
Um, I feel like there's gonna be I feel like justice is gonna be served.
Mm,
Um, and I feel like, yeah, justice is gonna be served for everyone. And people, like I said, that's also a part of like working on yourself and taking accountability, because if justice is really gonna get served, that means no matter what, it you still have you might have some options, maybe to negotiate certain things, but even if it's not negotiable, justice will still be served somehow, because what's wrong is wrong. What's done in the past or what's happening right now is getting corrected. So
yes.
what has been done in the past will be corrected in the future as well.
Mm,
I think it's up to how people handle that to know which way is going to be corrected.
yeah, that's good.
So, yeah,
That makes sense to me because life can't continuously be imbalanced.
yeah,
That
no,
doesn't work. Everything else in nature balances. Everything self-corrects, right?
yeah,
And so that would definitely be a word I will add to my description of the new age is balance, right? And justice, because that would make total sense. Because yeah, I mean, some of these rules and stuff from the Piscean age and some of that, like, it created major imbalances, and it made things look a certain way that weren't that way,
yeah.
right? And so if you,
Everything is uh, reversed. Everything.
yeah,
The way
yeah,
of
yeah,
thinking is completely reversed. People don't literally think in reverse sometimes. It's like
yeah, yeah,
they,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and Joaquin said this too, that it was going to be like a release from this idea of duality,
Hmm.
right? That's how I would describe things looking one way and being the total opposite. And
Yeah,
we've been being sold a bill of goods for a long time, and like stuff that has unearthed this year and even in the past few months, is
yeah,
just like, we never would have even imagined it. So
No.
I have a girlfriend that said, "Well, we got the 2020 we were thinking we were gonna get."
Yeah.
Uh, but many of us are in this place of like, some people are in the place of, when is the truth gonna be good? 'Cause it's,
Yeah, it does get better. It will get better, you
if
know.
it gets better for us personally, see, that's why we have hope. If it got better for us personally, we survived it personally, right?
Mhm.
Then it will get better, because that's the template for it, you know? If it gets better for us, it will get better for everyone, because I think there's nothing we made it do to get better. We couldn't force it. It's just a natural progression of things. We kept following the path. And so I think it's the natural progression for things to get better, honestly, as we are honest, not repressing, not pushing the stuff away, not pretending it didn't happen, da da da. But if we're gonna follow the path, it gets better. Oh no, I can't hear you. Oh, okay.
Can
I
you hear
think
me?
yes, I can.
Oh, that was my finger. Sorry.
I thought so,
um,
because when you went like that, it all of a sudden I could hear.
um, even I mean, even the planet, and you know, if you study astrology and stuff, and the sun, not to be.
It's a little quiet though. I don't know what happened. Is your maybe finger over the mic, or?
No, it's not anymore.
Oh, it's real good. It was real good
Oh,
right
okay.
there. Okay, yeah,
Okay, I stay like this.
yes. Sorry.
Even when you talk about like, I don't know if you see if you study astrology.
I
Even
don't
as
know much, but
well, it even the planets like in the planet realm. I don't know really how to say it, but astrologically, astrologically,
yeah,
if that's a
astrologically, yeah,
word. I don't know.
it is.
um,
You went from your
okay,
French very well.
okay. There is a lot of things that are happening, you know, that influence a lot of things that are happening within ourselves as well. Um, so yeah, like I said, I feel like justice is going to be served no matter what, how people react to it. Yeah. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's good. Well, I want to, what I hoped to do today was just encourage people's openness to have conversations with people of like different backgrounds, or people that resonate maybe differently spiritually. This is what is going to move us forward.
yeah.
I think it's really important for this to happen. So I wanted to do this on camera, to like model it, to demystify it, and to say, now, this is my personal conviction, is to judge a tree by its fruit. There is no, it makes no sense to try to change someone who is happy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And there are a lot of unhappy people. And so,
Yeah.
first of all, make sure you're not one of them, because I know people that believe that they believe the right things. What I believe is
Yes.
right. Okay. And they are 60% of the time unhappy.
Yes.
And maybe the other 40, they're in church. So what I'm saying is, like, get that right. Like, that doesn't work. That
Yeah.
you're not presenting someone with a life that they would be
Yeah.
interested, because people can smell BS, right? So, and if they don't get it right off the bat because they're so unhappy, they're gonna figure it out as they follow you.
Yeah.
What you have to do is get your own balance thing right, right? And then you can help people that actually are struggling with actual issues once you figure that out. And you can do that in your own way. But I really want to encourage people to stop attempting to change people that are happy, because our life shows the fruit of what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to know. And so if somebody's life is showing good fruit, I don't maybe listen, and you may learn. Like, I learned things during this conversation because I was able to take some things that, were little sparks in my mind, but then talk about them and hear
Yeah.
someone who's developed those ideas a little bit more, right? So, um, so it's just really important. And Aminata, I cannot thank you enough for being willing to do this with me.
Thank you for having me.
So thankful for you, and I'm excited to put that link right up there in the title description for Charms Beauty. What is it?
Yes.
What is it again? The
Charms
name?
Essentials.
Charms Essentials. I remembered Charms because that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I encourage you to go
Yeah.
visit Charms Essential, but I also just encourage you, in this new era, it's a time of openness. It's a time to have conversations with people and to learn. It's a time to learn and to grow together. And I think it's just going to make your experience of all the transitions and changes of what's happening right now is going to be lovely if you'll be
Yeah.
open to do that. And I think if you want to cling to things that are dying, obviously that's going to be tough, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's all about growth and self um progression.
mhm,
Yes. Just evolving. Just focus on evolving yourself and become better every day. Yep.
love it. I love it. Nada, that was perfect. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
gorgeous, gorgeous
you.
evening in England,
Yes,
West
thank you.
London.
What time is it? Is it in the morning now where you are?
It is turning to afternoon. It's 11:30, almost
Okay. Well,
11:30
have a good
a.m.
afternoon then.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to catching up in our group chats.
Yes, me too. Bye.
Okay, goodbye.